This is a weather update.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Usher.
And I'm Natalie Pasquarello. Welcome to our coverage of this winter storm that's been moving in. Many areas have seen major flooding out there.
And that's the big concern now with the onset of the rapid drop in temperature. Take a look at Freeport, Long Island this morning. News 4's Gabi Acevedo was out there and said the water came up very quickly. So quickly, he and the crew had to scramble to a safer location.
Yeah, Dave, let's take a look at Edgewater, New Jersey now. Look at this major flooding. Several buildings have taken on water there. Now, of course, residents are really concerned about the freeze that's headed our way and all that turning to ice, Dave.
And let's give you a different picture of this system. This is a live picture from Cleveland, our sister station, WKYC. There are blizzard warnings issued for parts of northeast Ohio. And the last time there was a blizzard warning there was exactly 10 years ago. So no doubt that's going to push into the tri-state or into New York State at some point. Let's get over to Storm Team 4's Janice Huff.
Hi, David and Natalie. Yes, we will not get the blizzard here in the tri-state, but upstate New York, Buffalo area, western New York, definitely under blizzard warnings. They're going to see that there, and you can see the spin in the atmosphere. Now, all this blue indicates snow, and we've even had some snowflakes flying outside our window here at 30 Rock, and maybe you have too. The snow is not going to last very long, though, here in the tri-state. It's already starting to push off to the north and east, so don't count on that hanging out for very, very long. Most of that is going to dissipate and move out, but what won't leave us will be the cold air coming in. We've also had severe weather today. If you've been out across Long Island, you may have gotten the notices about a severe thunderstorm warning. There's still one in effect right now for the eastern end of Suffolk County. We told you there could be thunderstorms in the area today. This is quite a dynamic atmosphere that we're dealing with, extreme cold and all that tropical warmth from the Gulf of Mexico. This is in effect until 2:45. It is moving off to the east now. There's the line near Southampton. Wind gusts to 60 miles an hour, downpours and hail probably nickel to dime size. A zoomed-in view here shows exactly what we're looking at now between Southampton and East Hampton, and then stretching in a line, a band that goes up towards Southold. That's what's moving off to the north and east. So if you're in Riverhead and the Hamptons, you're expected to see this last for another few minutes as it moves off to the north and east. It will be moving out of your area, but just make sure that you stay indoors until the threat is passed, because there could be damaging winds within these cells. Now, on a little bit wider view shows the transition moving through New York City right now. Yes, the rain changed over to snow in the city and the surrounding areas, and that extends up towards the Catskills and Poconos right now. But we're not expecting accumulating snows. It's just a quick band coming through. Live radar shows the precipitation and the temperature, so you can see how much we've dropped off. About 10 degrees in the last couple of hours. We're in the upper 30s in the city right now, but you're already in the 20s in Monticello and back towards Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's already down to 20 degrees. Still some 40s out ahead of that in the warmer air, and 51 in Hartford, but they'll be getting the cold air too pretty soon. A closer view now shows that band that came through the city and then developed into that severe level over Long Island, and now you can see the snowflakes flying across the city, northeastern New Jersey, even down the Jersey Shore. You're seeing a few flakes there as well, and back up towards Orange County and into the Catskills. So here's where we're seeing some heavier snow, where you might get some light accumulation here, just in Ulster County and Sullivan County, and then north towards Oneonta. All right, traveling south, we can see that towards Wayne, a few snowflakes there. Patterson, you're likely seeing a few as well. Down towards Staten Island, a few light snow showers, and Edison, New Jersey too. And down the shore, Toms River, light snowflakes coming down now, Middletown, Stratford. The winds are now coming offshore, not onshore. When you had the onshore wind was when we had the problems with the flooding today. Now, we do have winter weather alerts in effect, not necessarily for snow, but for flash freezing. Standing water that came up from the rain today, or that's left over from the rain, and that came up from the ocean from that onshore push, that's going to freeze very rapidly now. So there will be icy sidewalks and icy roads scattered around the tri-state in the next hour or so. 2 to 3 inches of rain. There's still that flood watch along the mid-Hudson Valley to the north of the area. And of course, we've got the cold air that's coming in at this moment. And coming up, Storm Team 4's Matt Brickman is going to let us know how long that cold air is going to stick around and those wind chills below zero. But right now, we want to send it back to David and Natalie.
All right, Janice, thanks so much for that. And now we're going to toss it over to Queens, where Miles Miller is in Howard Beach. Miles, I know extensive flooding there and Howard Beach, even some rescues you saw.
That's right. A lot of flooding and a lot of damage. This is a piece of vinyl siding. It came off of the
home right behind us here. We are situated at 162nd Avenue, and we're situated between a basin and a creek. And so when high tide came, it really flooded this neighborhood. You see behind me, this house is pouring out water, so much water, so much damage in this neighborhood that they've called in the folks to get that water pumped out of the homes. Let's go and show you some video now of this area and what we've seen in terms of the flooding here. It's been all morning long and all afternoon that we've seen the flooding in this neighborhood. So bad that at one point 2 cars couldn't see in front of them and slammed into a home just right outside of the home, hitting the pool in this neighborhood. We talked to a tow truck driver because we've seen several of them out here all day. They say that they've seen 30 to 40 cars that have needed to be towed to collision shops because it's a total loss for them.
Tell the mayor to clean the sewer systems.
It's the sewers, right?
Yeah. That's what's going on over here.
How many cars have you had to tow today?
It's like 30 cars already. 30. They gotta clean the sewer systems. You're gonna keep on having this problem all the time.
And there really shouldn't be much flooding in this neighborhood still. It's because of all of the water that subsided, but you still see flooding here, and it's for that reason. The catch basins simply have not been cleaned out by the city, and so if you live in neighborhoods like this that are prone to flooding and you see that there are leaves collecting in the neighborhood, do your part, sweep them out, collect the leaves, put them in the garbage can, because it prevents the type of flooding that we have seen. But again, people in this neighborhood have been saying repeatedly that the city needs to come in and clean out some of these catch basins to prevent the flooding that they've seen. That's the latest live here in Howard Beach, Queens. I'm Miles Miller. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, we hear it over and over again. Miles, thank you. Let's check in along the Hudson River because News 4's Gilma Avalos is in Edgewater. And Gilma, you've seen a stunning amount of flooding there.
David, that's right. Since we last checked in, though, the biggest change is that it's snowing now. But as far as this water receding, you can see there's not been a lot of progress, and time is ticking because this hotel here behind me, an employee there tells us that they're fully booked for the holiday weekend. They are fully expecting guests to pull up to this parking lot, attempt to check in at 3 o'clock. And as you can see right now, it is not that promising. In terms of progress, at noon, we showed you the water line was near the door handle of that submerged vehicle there in the center. If our photojournalist Ivan Reyes can pan to it, well, more than 2 hours later, that is exactly where that water line remains. You can see property loss here will be easily in the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. Several vehicles submerged, including a large semi that you see there in the distance. And but this has also been a huge impact to businesses here, and also there were some safety concerns. In fact, one of the local businesses shared a short clip of a volunteer fire department rescue here. A person had to be helped out of their vehicle even though they were just steps away from the entrance of that building. So again, the situation proved to be dangerous. The community says that they've been sounding the alarm on a poor drainage issue here, and they're not optimistic about what it's going to look like tonight.
You know, it's supposed to freeze tonight. It's supposed to drop. Right now it's 50 degrees. By tonight it's supposed to go down to 10 degrees. This is going to be bigger than Bryant Park ice skating rink. People will be ice skating here later tonight when it goes down. Think about it. And then this is going to be iced over for the next couple of days. So it is a complete mess.
And one small change since we last saw you here at noon, the addition of the safety cones. Unfortunately, they've had to be added, not because people are trying to go into the parking lot, but because drivers are taking their chances in this, not out of necessity, but for fun. So hopefully these safety cones deter that activity. Again, time is ticking. Businesses really banking on this holiday weekend, and guests are supposed to pull up here in less than an hour or so. We'll send it back to you live in Edgewater. Gilma Avalos, News 4 New York.
Yeah, Gilma, thank you. Wow, seeing that water all the way up to those rear view mirrors there. Okay, we have to turn now to News 4's Andrew Siff. He's joining us from LaGuardia in Queens. How is it where you are, Andrew? What are you hearing?
Well, Well, Natalie, the reality is there are more than 300 flights at LaGuardia canceled today, and at this hour, more than 100 flights that are delayed. The result of that, as you can see behind me, a lot of folks are sitting around and waiting. They might be with their pets, like this gentleman here. Others are waiting with their children, and they are trying to make the best of what is a messy situation out there. Now, earlier in the day, conditions at LaGuardia were manageable, crowded, but manageable as people arrived. So many of them checking in advance to learn that their flights were canceled. And for those who weren't canceled, it was hoping against hope that the routing would get them home for the holidays in time, like Nelia Mejia, who we caught up with from the Tremont section of the Bronx.
I was very worried. I thought my flight actually was going to get canceled, but I have like 3 connecting flights, so I hope I make it to my destination.
3 connecting flights. Tell me what your route is.
I have to go to Chicago, then from Chicago, hopefully, to Dallas, and then from Dallas to Houston.
All to be with family for the holiday.
Yeah.
Is it worth it to be traveling in this stressful storm and all that?
Of course. In my opinion, it is. I mean, Christmas is a few days away.
You listen to her upbeat attitude despite having to take 3 flights, endure the delays, not know for sure if it's going to end up in cancellations. And that's really, we've seen some very upbeat, positive attitudes out here at the airport. If you can sum it up, you get what you get and you don't get upset. That's the story. Reporting live at LaGuardia, Andrew Siff, News 4 New York.
Oh, Andrew, we're so happy to hear that. At least
Yes.
the mood is still good.
Urgent.
I think the pet's helping there, too. It's keeping that gentleman
sure.
calm as well. All right, we're going to thank you for that. We're going to toss it over to Storm Team 4's Dave Price here for the latest on what the rest of the day is going to look like for those travelers. Dave.
Yeah, I think things are going to begin to get more complicated and kind of close in. So we hope you keep those great attitudes if you're at the airports, whether it is at LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, out to Hartford, I should say, up to Newburgh. We're looking at snow showers working through the area right now. Our camera in Jersey City, visibility is now down in parts of the area. And again, that is going to affect traffic from here on forward, at least for a while, down to 2 miles at Newark, 4 miles right here in New York City, 2 miles in White Plains. As that happens, again, with visibility down, air traffic will slow both in the air and on the ground. At the same time, we take a look at this larger picture. This is why we're seeing snow showers. Again, not for a long period of time, but enough to kind of complicate the situation if you're getting on the road right now. And rain beginning to overspread the area, certainly working its way to the east where we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect as we look further out to the east end of Long Island. So we're going to see this snow begin to pass. We may see a little bit of a dry patch, but there's more precipitation. But the biggest issue as we head through the rest of the day are going to be the winds. Now look at these wind gusts right now. Now we take the wind gust at the same time as we're seeing some snow and visibility down. So if you take a look right around Elizabeth right now, 40-mile-per-hour gusts, 36 in the city, 37 in Forest Hills. You know, in and around the major airports, we're looking at very, very strong winds and lower visibility at this point. Winds are coming from the west-southwest at this hour. Again, it's driving a lot of that ocean flooding, which was an issue. That is going to be less of a factor as we head through the rest of the day as those winds begin to shift. Now what we're going to inherit is that cold Arctic air. We see a lot of standing water out there at this point. We have saturated ground at this point from those heavy overnight rains, and now all of it's going to begin to freeze. Look at these numbers. These are feels-like conditions from around the country. 37 degrees below zero in Sioux Falls, 27 degrees below zero in Chicago, 9 below zero in Memphis. Look, as you head to Dallas, Texas, it feels like it's 9 degrees right now. All of this heading in our direction. As we head through the rest of the day and those temperatures go down and the winds stay strong, it is going to be brutally cold and dangerously so for an extended period of time outside. If you are traveling through the rest of the day today, we're going to see a mix of both snow showers now, rain later on, thunder showers in Boston, and rain and snow in our nation's capital. Detroit, snow. Chicago, very windy with 1 degree out there. Minneapolis, St. Paul, same issue. And then as we head out west, things things are much calmer. We are going to see building delays as we head through the day. Into tomorrow, very cold, but much less of an issue across the country at our major hubs. And then as we take a look at Sunday, we are going to see relatively calm conditions across the lower 48. That's a quick look at what's ahead. I think travel troubles will only begin to build as we head through the rest of the day, though.
Dave, I'm just looking. I got to the Rock about an hour ago, exactly an hour ago. No gloves, no hat, and look at that bug now, 35 degrees. I mean,
we were in the mid-50s. We were in the mid-50s when we started this morning. When you are done on your dinner break, when people are going home at the end of the workday today, we're going to be in the 20s, and it's going to feel like it's in the low teens or upper single digits as we head into the evening hours tonight. Wow. A remarkable drop in temperatures as that strong cold front begins to push through the area.
Like off a cliff. All right, Dave, thank you. You mentioned the travel troubles. Today in New York, Adele Caballero, still in action, of course, as many people try to get where they're going for the holidays. She's got to look at the roads. And how are they starting to look, Adele?
Unfortunately, not as well as we were hoping they would look at this time. As we have been seeing, still a lot of lingering flooding areas, downed power cables, which of course is going to affect those traffic lights. And as Dave said, low visibility right now, which is making it even trickier to get around. One of the big problem areas right now, still Route 7 both ways in New Jersey, completely closed from Truck Route 1 and 9 heading out to Schuyler Avenue. That's a pretty big chunk and busy roadway there. 9W, this has been out there since early this morning, completely shut down both ways as well, again, because of flooding. Christian Herald Road out to Elm Street. We're going to head a little further north here in the Katona area, Route 22 both ways. That's shut down again because of some down power cables. That would be from Route 35 heading out to J Street. And if you're going to be making your way a little further down here out east, Route 111, that's Wheeler Road out on Long Island. Both ways are seeing some down power cables here as well from Route 454 out to a Town Line Road. We're going to give you a look out there once again. This is the Long Island Expressway, and you can see the snow is starting to come down. Roadways still very slick, and cars are moving at a pretty slow pace. So your best bet at this point is really to stay home and to hold off on that travel. We're going to continue to keep you posted on that, but for now, we're going to send it back to you, David and Natalie.
Okay, Adele, thank you for that update. So for those of you here on Channel 4 with us, we're going to wrap it up, but we're going to stay here and pick up our coverage immediately on NBCNewYork.com and across all of our streaming platforms.
Yeah, so for our viewers here, we're going to take you back to Access Daily. We hope you have a safe day. Be careful out there.
And welcome back to our viewers who are joining us on NBCNewYork.com and all of our streaming platforms.
Yeah, we are continuing to stay on top of this live team coverage of this winter storm starting to bear down on our area. Many of us seeing that sharp temperature drop Dave Price was just talking about that, Dave.
Yeah. On the phone now, Mitch Gross is a spokesman for Eversource Energy in Connecticut. And I understand there have been some challenges up there, Mitch.
Hey, good afternoon. Yeah, it's been busy. We're kind of like in the calm between the two edges of that front, I guess. I've been listening to your weather situations down there in the greater New York area, and we're awaiting additional winds this afternoon, but our line workers, our tree workers, real busy with a lot of outages and a lot of damage.
Rich, give us a sense throughout your coverage area where you're seeing the most damage and problems.
Well, unfortunately, we're seeing it in every community that we serve in Connecticut. Wow. And we serve 149 of the state's 169 communities. Every town has a power issue to some degree. So the line workers, the tree workers, everybody behind the scenes, we're real busy. And we expect this to be a multi-day event for our customers. We had just shy of 110,000 customers without power earlier. That's down to about 65,000. But so we are making progress.
Okay, and Mitch, tell us, folks are watching here at home and you're telling us about the issues across the Connecticut area. What do you want to say mainly to folks at home right now? What would be
some people enjoy the time. We do as well. We're working as quickly and as